What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are going to be reviewing Survivor Series 2000. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Survivor Series 2020, round the corner, next week, in fact. So it's only right that we review Survivor Series 2000. And you know, once we're talking Attitude Era, I can't do it alone. I've had to call in my brothers and then even gone further than that and called in our good friends from across the pond. So I'm going to introduce you guys to them one by one. We're going to start with Ray. I'm going to add Ray in. Ray, what's up?
Yo, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. This Survivor Series is actually, they're celebrating 30 years of The Undertaker's career. I don't know how much you've seen of it. I guess this is his whole retirement. What do you call it? The last, and yeah, this is the last time we're going to see him, apparently. So yeah, I was going to ask you something about The Undertaker. What is your favorite Undertaker match? Do you have one that pops up to mind?
That's tough. That's tough. Attitude Era or just
any?
Favorite, and I'll say most defining was the one I can't even remember the pay-per-view. Mankind versus Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell.
when he froze, I think that was the first time they'd done something in terms of jumping off the cage through a table, through the announce table. That's the one that sticks with me the most. He's got so many matches though.
Literally just dash man off the top of the cell.
Yeah,
I mean, I read the Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25. I slightly like the Jeff Hardy one that was on Raw for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, he's had so many good ones, but this one, because of that iconic moment, it just has to stand out for me.
Literally. Right, cool. Let's add Paul in. Paul, how are we doing?
What's going on, guys? All good here, man.
Good. Again, so we were talking about The Undertaker. What's your favorite Undertaker moment?
First thing that came to my mind was when he dashed Rikishi off the Hell in the Cell in the six-man. That one was crazy because everyone kind of just stopped and was looking at Rikishi at the back of the truck thing. And yeah, that was one of those I'll make you famous moments. So yeah, that's definitely what pops out in the mind first. Yeah.
Cool. So guys, you know, when we're talking Attitude Era, you know these faces on the channel already, but introducing you guys to two new faces. I've worked with them before, so it's time for them to make their debuts right here at WrestleManiac UK. It is Stan and Hearts from Talk of Champions. How you guys doing?
Hi. Yo. What's going on?
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you guys.
Facts. Nice to be here.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you guys some Survivor Series related questions.
Okay.
Start with Hearts. What is your favorite Survivor Series moment? Any Survivor Series?
The Rock winning the championship at Deli Games.
Which one was that? What
Deli
year?
Games, 98.
98.
I cannot remember that.
It was the tournament for the title after they stripped it off Austin.
Oh, who did he beat in the final?
1998.
It was Mankind versus The Rock.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was probably their most star-studded tournament they've ever had.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, ooh, I love it.
They literally don't make them like that anymore.
No.
And Stan, I'm gonna ask you to build me your all-time 4-man Survivor Series elimination team. Anyone dead or alive you can put in there, and why? Why for each one?
Well, you want me to give you four names off top that I put on a Survivor Series team?
Yep.
Okay, Randy Orton's number one because he is the best performer. He's the best Survivor Series match performer of all time. He's been the sole survivor more times than anybody, so I'm taking that one.
Fair enough.
Shawn Michaels, because he's probably the second most. He's up there with Randy as far as like Survivor Series matches, and he's the greatest performer of all time. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Steve Austin because he don't quit, and I need a big man, don't I? I'm mad at the Undertaker now. Yeah. Whatever, it's business. Give me the Undertaker. Give me the Undertaker.
Cool. Decent sounding team. All right, guys. For those that are watching, just make sure you're subscribed to WrestleManiac UK. Make sure you're following Talk of Champions as well on their YouTube page, on their Facebook page as well. We've got some of their audience up in here as well. Good brother, Bove.
Dirty Hills.
It's good, Dirty Hills from across the pond.
And we got Arpit up in here as well. What's he said? Survivor Series, my favorite pay-per-view of all time. And it was my favorite pay-per-view when I started watching back in 2015. You need to go back and watch the older ones, bro. Those are better than what we get today.
Yeah.
It would have really been your favorite to go back and watch the older ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Facts.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. 14th annual Survivor Series, Survivor Series 2000, straight out of Tampa, Florida. It opened with a 6-person intergender match, Tess and Albert, with Trish Stratus versus Crash Holly, Molly Holly, and Steve Blackman. Oh. Now, I need someone to fill me in why TNA were wearing APA t-shirts and that.
That's a question that I had.
I got it.
Go
on. Tess and Albert, they beat up the APA. The APA, they had a little office backstage without walls, just a door. And they were pretty famous for kicking people out. And Tess and Albert came one day and they beat them up and they took it over and they was in the hospital. So they put that they put what was it? No, they put the T and APA.
Yeah. Was that the episode before the show or?
That was I believe it was either SmackDown the previous week or 2 weeks or 10 days before, I forget. But I just remember I didn't watch it back over, but I remember during, like, as a kid watching, like they came in, they ran down on their office in the back. It was like a week or two before.
Okay, cool.
I was watching WCW at this time. I had no idea.
Hearts, I was gonna get your opinion because myself, Paul, Ray, we spoke about this on a previous show we reviewed. What's your thoughts as a woman of intergender wrestling back then?
Back then I didn't really care, but I was like, yeah, fuck her up. Attitude era kids, we didn't care. But you watch it now, you be like, oh shit! Like when Tess like mushed Molly Holly at the ring out there, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why is he that hard? But I guess that's just being adults and growing up. Things that we didn't really care. Or hi Monstro, things that didn't really affect us. I was like, that is cool. They're fighting the woman.
If it was like intergender wrestling today, would you have a problem with it?
I would have a problem with it, but for different reasons. I would have a problem with it because it's not believable.
Okay.
Like you put Sasha Banks against Roman Reigns, and like this shouldn't be a thing. So as an adult, I'm not gonna believe that this little 5 foot, 120-pound woman can actually be a contender for Roman Reigns. Visually, it fucks with you, so you can't really see it happening today.
I guess that makes sense.
As an adult, I watch it now. Like I seen the Vince McMahon Stephanie match as an adult, and I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Oh yeah.
So
crazy.
As an adult, I see it like, "Oh my gosh." But as a kid, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Fight the girls.
Yeah.
That Jezebel deserved it.
Jezebel, you know. Right. So for me personally, there's not much to say about this particular match. In the end, Molly Holly got the win, pinning Trish Stratus with a sunset flip. Guys, Ray, Paul, anything you want to add in regards to this?
Nah, to me, it was an opening match, wasn't it? It's funny that we didn't even know about the backstory until you just filled us in about them beating up the APA. So there wasn't a lot of build up to this. There wasn't a lot of story. There wasn't even that montage at the beginning to say what was happening, why they're fighting. You know, it just seemed like a match they threw together, showcasing talented wrestlers. Steve Blackman, very talented. Also, Test, very talented, rest in peace. You know, Trish and the young Trish Stratus before she became Trish Stratus, when she was before she could wrestle properly. Well, I mean, I don't know what they was doing with her back here, apart from just being a valet and a pretty face. She went on to be one of the best.
I mean, if we're being honest,
I love blondes and boobs, Trish. I didn't mind her. So you know,
liked it. Oh,
yeah. That's my favorite Trish. I don't like wrestler Trish.
Okay.
If we're being honest, though, Molly Holly wasn't exactly, so far gone in her wrestling experience at this point either.
No, she was. Yeah, she was. But I think she had trouble kind of working with Trish.
With Trish, yeah.
I think Trish was too green for her to really get in there and work, because Molly could do the basics, but Molly wasn't shaven head Molly at this point, No,
because she wasn't there. She wasn't there yet as a performer. She wasn't there yet. She still was kind of moving a little.
Because she didn't necessarily have the experience. She didn't really wrestle much as Mona, and she got the training, did the independence a little bit, didn't have a women's division in WCW, didn't have a women's division in really much of a wrestling women's division in WWF. You get that experience by working. If you work with someone that can't work, where you going? Yep. You're not going to get better.
James McTavish just said she was a dog, and I don't know who he's talking about.
I think he's talking about Molly.
Maybe Trish, remember Bark Like a Dog?
Oh yeah.
She did the bulldog. Maybe that was it.
I think one thing is that Molly was kind of always packaged as a wrestler, but Trish was the sexy girl turned wrestler. You see what I mean? The manager turned wrestler. So maybe that's what hurt her in terms of believability back then, as well as the fact she was green, she was new to it, and still pretty much learning on the job. I've given this match 2 stars. Is there anyone? Am I harsh? Is it too much?
That's lovely, mate. That's lovely.
You are being nice.
Maybe 1.5.
This match shouldn't have opened.
Yeah.
It was a poor definitely.
The placement on this card worries me, and I hate that I have to talk like this. She thinks
that's real journalist
talking about placement. No, but it's like the placement on the card is like, it's like, why would you start the bathroom match to open the show? Get everybody hot, then you have a couple bathroom matches, get some snacks for the real stuff. And this wasn't a get everybody hot match, but
I think that's what they were trying to do by putting Trish out there first.
Yeah, but no, everybody's gonna go, ooh, Trish. Oh shit, this is bad.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, let's crack on. We had a backstage segment. Kurt Angle bumping into Edge and Christian backstage. Kurt Angle had a match later on the night with Undertaker, and I believe he was trying to kind of contract Edge and Christian to come and help him possibly during the match. Edge and Christian refused, saying that they have they were in a Survivor Series match after Kurt Angle's match. So, Stan, what are you saying?
Well, he came in there and they assumed that he was gonna ask them for help. And he was overconfident. He was like, I own the Undertaker. Like, I got this guy. Like he was just saying, hey, you guys want to go out and get some drinks after the show, kind of thing. Like, it was, this segment to me was just kind of like to show you, like, yo, why is Kurt Angle so confident going into this match?
Yes.
Was there like, that's how I felt from watching it today. So I can't remember. Was there anything that happened maybe in episodes before the pay-per-view which was leading to his confidence? Did this card that he pulled out, this Joker that he had in his pocket, was this planned beforehand?
Absolutely not. That's the thing. That's why they did this, because the weeks leading up to it, he was pretty much running from the Undertaker. And it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, like, oh, the Undertaker's going to be the new WWF champion, kind of thing.
Okay. So when he had sorted out the Joker in his back pocket, that's why he was overconfident.
Yeah, exactly. But you see that later, I guess. But But I think it sold Kurt Angle short. You know what I mean? But let's not say too much about that now. I'll talk about that later. Because for me, Kurt Angle he doesn't need to run from the Undertaker, to be fair. But that's the light that they wanted to portray him in.
The Undertaker
it was the character he was playing.
Sorry, what was that, Paul?
So it was the character he was playing, like running from the big man. You know what I mean? I think he was playing a role. He was playing a role.
Yeah. RP just says Kurt Angle was just awesome back then. 100%.
And keep in mind, everything that we're seeing with Kurt Angle, this is his 1 year anniversary.
His rookie year.
Wrestling a year. He's only been doing this a year. So by the time we're getting to this point, we're talking about a guy that is worlds and miles ahead of his contemporaries at this point.
That's true.
That's crazy. He said he doesn't need to learn from the Undertakers because you're right. Like he was already. That's his first. We're talking about a decade of destruction at that point, and this guy's in his first year.
Yeah,
literally, way above what he should have been at that time. Let's jump into the first Survivor Series elimination match. Now, I don't want to talk bad on this match, but whenever I don't, but whenever I see like back then. Back then, Survivor Series elimination matches, I felt some of the names involved were bigger than what we got in this match. The next match on the card was a bit better, but let's go for it anyway. We had Road Dogg and K Quick, and Billy Gunn and China versus the Radicals, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Today's actually 15 years since he died. Which is crazy. It feels like such a long time ago.
Getting old.
Yeah, that's how you know it is. Yeah,
15 years ago he died.
Sorry?
I was never a fan of the Radicals.
You wasn't?
In WCW at all, Eva? Or?
I love Dean and I love Perry. You can't not like Dean and Perry, but like the two they pushed, I was just like, okay, that's Eddie Guerrero. That's
I loved Benoit and Eddie.
Yeah, like everybody. The one I don't know. I think it's just me. I love everything. Everybody don't care for it, apparently, but I adore Perry Saturn, and it's because I guess I've seen a lot of his ECW and WCW work more than I've seen his WWF. Because I was like on my way out by the time they came.
Okay.
And Dean Malenko, I don't care about matches, but when I want to watch a match, I want to watch a technical match, and that's Dean Malenko.
Okay.
The man with 1,000 holds, huh?
That's like, Dean Malenko gives me chills from time to time. So those are my two favorites. I didn't care for them as a group. I felt it pulled them back from what they all could have done separately. Because all of them separately are amazing wrestlers.
That's true. But I guess it's just them being young and coming in, until they get to that position.
It's WWE, not like in small WCW guys.
Well, yeah, WCW guys. I mean, Ray and Paul, we've spoken about this. Yeah.
If you are a WCW guy, you got like an X on your chest. But if you are small in WCW, oh no.
Yeah.
Oof, you had it out for you.
Yeah, literally. I had a question. Road Dogg and K Quick. When did that come together?
After Billy Gunn injured himself and came back to one.
It was random. They had a new guy named K Quick they just signed, and I guess they needed something.
He was a rapper, and Road Dogg did some raps.
Yeah.
So, you
guys like rap music. Yeah, come on.
You guys like rap music together.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Then I want to ask you, how do you feel about his hair in this show?
Who, the Road Dogg?
Yeah.
I hate it.
He came with the K Quick style.
I hate it. I hate the Road Dogg.
What was that, like single plats?
Yeah.
His kind of look like twists, because K Quick had the twists. He didn't have necessarily plat, but yeah.
I'm not feeling the culture appropriation, and I'm not saying that like white folks can't. I'm not saying white folks can't have braids and twists and stuff, but like you can't stand for certain things and then do it, and yeah, whatever.
He came out repping his set. With a flag around his head like Tupac.
Yeah, we're good.
Road Dogg was serving looks tonight, y'all, with a jumper. Ooh.
You better be for the culture if you're gonna do all that.
You ain't see that little two-step he did once he got in the ring?
Yeah.
They was getting rowdy, y'all.
Road Dogg is something else. Like, I think we spoke about Survivor Series 2000. I'm so sorry, SummerSlam 2000 not too long ago, and obviously he had a match with X-Pac. So for me, watching this back is like, how did he go from that to where he was now with K Quick? But I guess you guys have somewhat explained it.
No, at that point they were still Russo-like booking, so everything was fast and coming at you. So like, you missed 2 shows, there's like 8 new tag teams, 4 new champions.
A lot of change.
And the other thing about that too, like the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were really only lit and successful, like to a real extent, as a tag team.
Yeah.
So once they broke up, neither one of them really held water.
They had plans for Billy, but didn't have plans for Billy.
Well, I even put down in my notes that Billy Gunn was pretty much being booked as the big man, the complete heavyweight. He looked as if in this match, this was a guy that was going to have a substantial future, go on to be, world champion and everything. Obviously, towering above the other guys that were involved in this match. Obviously, we just mentioned the Radicals are generally small guys. Just to kind of run through some of the eliminations. Obviously, Eddie Guerrero and China had split at this point, and Eddie Guerrero had left the ring, hit China over the head with the Intercontinental title. China was the first eliminated, which I didn't really see coming. K-Quick had a very impressive flurry within the middle of the match, showing a lot of athleticism. Like you guys said, there was a young signee in at the time. But Benoit, I felt another person on the Radicals team that was booked very strongly in this match. Came in, just literally does like a flurry of German suplexes, and K-Quick was gone. K-Quick was eliminated. Billy Gunn was left in a 3-on-1 situation and then eventually pinned when I think Benoit suplexed him back into the ring, went to pin him. Perry Saturn held down Billy Gunn's leg so he couldn't kick out, and the Radicals got the win. Paul, what did you think of this match in terms of a traditional Survivor Series elimination match?
I mean, I like the lineup of the certain individuals, especially I was a fan of the Radicals. I like Road Dogg, kind of. The K-Quick thing missed me with that. I wasn't really, when I saw them coming out rapping.
You shitted on your guy.
Yeah, not even like that. It's just I wasn't a fan of that. And I can kind of see they were really building up Billy Gunn, but I don't know. It just like his performance just seemed a bit like subpar.
Generic.
And then the way it ended was a little bit, anticlimax. I mean, I didn't really enjoy it too much. I kind of just enjoyed seeing all the wrestlers in the ring, but the actual performance didn't really do much for me, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I gave it 2.5 stars. What do you guys think?
Too much.
Generous.
Stars for everyone.
Generous.
What would you guys give it then?
To be honest with you, I looked at it like, all right, I don't even know what I would give this match for real, because I wasn't like looking at it like that. For me, it was just a matter of like, I felt like the purpose of this thing was really to get the Radicals over.
And trigger like nostalgia.
Yeah.
And
trigger like nostalgia, like, hey, DX.
I love the little story. Like they had like several stories like kind of weaved in and out of here. I love how they presented this thing. Like they had the flashy entrances with the other team that ended up losing, but all the the grandstanding and all that.
But
they ended up losing. They almost got totally wiped out, as a matter of fact. But then you had the Radicals come out. They were all serious and da-da-da-da-da. But the one Radical that wasn't dead serious and didn't have all of his head on straight was who?
Eddie.
It was Eddie Guerrero, because he's worried about the girl.
Yeah.
The first one gone as a result. Yeah. And I don't know. For me, that was just like a life lesson right there. Like I don't even know if they really meant to throw that in there like that, but that's it kind of jumped out to me.
I feel you.
For those very reasons, like the kind of the way the story kind of, the way I internalized the story and how the Radicals ended up looking strong. I didn't really give a damn about Billy Gunn. I didn't care about Billy Gunn. But like for me, it was like how strong the Radicals looked as a whole. That's why I enjoyed this one.
Do you guys think there's any point in Billy Gunn's career that this guy could have been a WWE champion?
No.
Top guy.
Before the Rock promo.
No.
I thought that maybe they could have did something with him.
You're talking about the Little Billy promo, the one to God?
No.
Before Rock completely said, nope, you're an ass man. We're gonna have an ass match.
No.
I was like, maybe a little bit. He had the physique.
No.
And
that's
he had the
ability.
But that's it.
That's about it.
For me.
That's about it.
So the hope to me, and I was always an ass girl. So it was just like, yeah, Billy Gunn, woo woo, right? But then it was just like as the years went, it was like, oh no, the one, oh, Billy and Chuck. Oh, okay, he's back in DX. Okay, VKM. Oh, it's not happening.
Yeah, pretty inconsistent with how they treated him, I guess.
But I think I think they would have, especially after like Austin was kind of like petering away. I think they would have tried to push him to the top. I think he was friendly enough with Triple H that if it happened during one of Triple H's ones, hi Alex, that it could have been a match, and we could have probably seen what would happen. But around that time, it was like it took one thing to get you swatted back to the bottom.
Yeah. And I feel there's probably too many people waiting in queue as well. Like you said, Russo was writing those stories. He'll change those characters out as and when.
One mess up, one bad promo, one just like, I don't know, you smell like cigarettes or something, and you're just back to the bottom.
I don't know. For me, with him, it's like his whole gimmick and stuff. Like with that Mr. Ass gimmick, you're just as much as in a box as you are the Godfather or Val Venus. You're not gonna really. You don't want that guy as your world champion. You're not. You don't want that guy representing your company as your world champion. You know, that's not even marketable to like a what. Mankind is more marketable than Mr. Ass. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Oh, definitely.
Which Mankind?
You got more people that would be able to reach out and relate to Mankind on some Daniel Bryan level.
Are you talking like T-shirt Mankind, 99 Mankind? Yes.
Yeah.
They had to soften him up because they couldn't really mass produce him as his original Mankind.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Billy Gunn. Like his gimmick was just such that it wasn't so much his talent or his ability. It was his gimmick, and his gimmick stuck with him throughout the rest of his career. That's what he's known for.
That's true.
Yeah.
If we go to the backstage segment that followed this match, Lillian Garcia was waiting outside in like the car park area, waiting to speak to The Rock. We were told on commentary. The Rock came out of his car, literally just walked straight past Lillian Garcia. I died of laughter. Hart, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now because you, man, I want you to hear this theory that Hearts has about The Rock. So this was
Rock.
I
have the theory. I'll explain the theory, but let's get to the match and I'll explain it because it makes
okay. You want to explain it later?
But right after it, I have a Chris Jericho rule, guys. So I did not.
You do not what?
I have a Chris Jericho rule, and I did not watch this match.
Okay, is it what because of what Chris Jericho has done recently, along with Trump?
It's the years building up. Like he's been showing his ass and then putting his pants back on real quick for years. So like, just this nonsense just made me say, okay, we're here now.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into that. That was the next segment. Chris Jericho was backstage with Michael Cole, kind of doing a pre-match conference, a pre-match interview on the match he was about to have with Kane. Now, again, I need someone to just make it utterly clear to me. Was this feud just about coffee or something else?
It basically was about coffee. They tried to make it about something else, but like it was basically about coffee. They tried to make it like Kane was jealous of Chris Jericho for looking beautiful, but like apparently Kane didn't have this issue with Chris Jericho until he got coffee spilled on him. So
yeah, I think it was one match they just threw together. They saw an opportunity and thought.
But it's a good match.
I flipped out when he said Senka on a pole, sir. He was in WCW when they had silver dollars on a pole.
Boy.
Okay.
So let's get into this. Obviously, we have a Y2J entrance. I'm a fan of Y2J. I do try to ignore the nonsense that he gets up to in his own time.
You're a fan of the gimmick, not the man, and that's how we.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it that way.
What's he done? Sorry, just devil's advocate.
Just to go on. I'll let Hearts go. Go on.
That's how we have as fans. That's how we have to learn how to be. It's especially us because we're black, we're darker hue. A lot of things hit us where it hurts. It's like we love you. Why are you doing this? But we all have to learn. The gimmick is what we love. We may not always love the person. It's like movies. We can hate an actor in a role, but it's a role.
Okay.
Ray, he's one of the how can I put this? All lives matters kind of people.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. He's also a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Jericho,
next match,
wow.
I'll mention the other one that made me say, let's throw this man away. But go ahead.
Yeah, let's keep politics out of the show.
Yeah.
Kane as well. This is, I think, my favorite Kane with this physique. Like Kane, this was his biggest but like muscular, and it showed in the match, like through long periods in the match. He really dominated Jericho, and Jericho was very much still, the light heavyweight, the cruiserweight guy that had just come from WCW at this time. We saw a bit of a fight back from Chris Jericho, pretty much like the plucky underdog fighting from underneath. We saw a top rope drop kick from him. We saw a Walls of Jericho attempt. In fact, I think he got it in, but Kane didn't tap. And then we saw what was a finish, and what I thought was a pretty good finishing sequence of when Chris Jericho went for the lion salt, and he was caught in the choke slam, couldn't get out, choke slam, pinned 1, 2, 3, and Kane got the win. What were you guys' thoughts on this match?
I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was definitely when the pay-per-view kind of picked up in terms of performances of matches. I was actually quite surprised Kane won because I couldn't remember the outcome of the match. And so normally in these kind of matches, they kind of give it to the small man, and especially because Chris Jericho, I thought maybe they're trying to get him over a bit more. They'd kind of like give him a big scalp. So I was kind of surprised that Kane won, but overall it was a good match. I kind of felt like they both controlled the space really well. And I think it just kind of like, did really good for both of their careers, really, in terms of just like moving from that point onwards. And I think because I kind of feel like Kane was always underappreciated generally throughout his whole career.
100.
Like I think when he first came out, he was kind of like the big red machine, which was like a nice gimmick, etc. But then after a while, he kind of just became the opponent you face when you want to show that you're really making your mark in the federation. So, but yeah, I gave the match. It's about 3.5, but yeah, solid.
I gave it a 3. I gave it
3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, man, solid. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I gave it a 3.
I really, really, really enjoyed this match because, like, for the lack of story that I had going into it, these guys told a hell of a story inside the ring. Like, I felt like Kane was upset with this guy for looking more beautiful than him, quote unquote, and I felt like Chris Jericho was like fighting for his life, trying to get this big monster off his back. And Max, like you said, like besides Kane's original form, this is my favorite version of Kane. When he has the straps coming down or whatever like that. I like this version of Kane. He looked fantastic here. And also I agree with what you said about the finish. The finish was brilliant. I love how like it was like perfect spacing Kane got when he slid underneath the lion salt and he caught him perfectly. That was like perfect timing and placement, and yeah, it was just beautiful. It was they made something out of nothing, really. Paul, you said you were surprised that Jericho didn't go over. That's because he would go over in the next month, and when they had a last man standing match, they will have a rematch to this, and that's when Jericho would go over and get his.
Was that on Raw or on a pay-per-view?
No, that was on the next month at Armageddon.
Armageddon, okay, cool.
Is that when he buried him under some kind of barrels or something like that?
Yep.
It was a good match, yeah.
Okay, I remember that one.
I mean, I'm funny about Kane. Are you funny? Kane, don't you think Kane was just a bit of a space? He was just a big guy, he was never like gonna be a leading WWF champion.
Because
I think between what Stan and Paul have said, between what they've said, it's literally that's literally what they've said, that Kane kind of never got to the prominence he probably should have got, especially back then when he was in that top physical condition. He was still very believable as this, devil's favorite demon. He just they didn't put him in that position. He was very much used as the boss that you had to beat to become a credible guy. Like Paul said, that's how they used Kane more than anything.
For that reason, his matches didn't excite me either. It's just, apart from if Kane was in the Royal Rumble, I'll be excited. But for me to watch a one-on-one match with Kane, I would just, I'm the unpopular opinion, but he just didn't excite me. He was a good wrestler. He was a good performer. He knew how to work the space. But when I saw him come down the ramp, I thought, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere. this is gonna go so far, and there's nowhere else this is gonna go to excite me or get me hooked. I knew Chris Jericho. Next week he might be going on the mic, talking trash, going back and forth with The Rock, but you wouldn't see that with Kane. You know, he just was the big red machine. You know, and that was it. Okay, what else? He's a boring big guy, I think, in my opinion.
I think he's one of the best big guy in-ring performers we've had, though.
Wrestling-wise, he's one of the better big guys.
Wrestling-wise, yeah, 100%. But from
especially then,
a perspective,
especially at this time. Oof. With Kane, they kind of like little brothered him with that whole storyline with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So he's always gonna see him as Undertaker's little brother.
That's because Undertaker started working differently with him after that first match.
Yeah.
That first match, like Taker was fighting from underneath, and then every other match they had after that, Taker was beating Kane's ass like he was his little brother. It was
like with that feud, it didn't need to go to Taker. Taker didn't need to win it. Taker was a made man by the time Kane came.
100%.
Kane could have won that feud and just made him devastating.
If Taker loses to Kane, which are both kind of being shown to us as supernatural characters, then is it almost like Kane would then take Undertaker's power and then Undertaker would not be Undertaker in our eyes? Is that what they were kind of being scared of?
Undertaker could have lost to Kane, and that's why he came back super evil.
You could, but here's the thing. You could. That's how you make two superstars rather than one star.
Yeah.
If because the Undertaker, like Hart said, he's already a made man by that time. So that means being a made man, even in mob senses, that means you can't be touched.
I just realized I'm talking mob.
Exactly. Even in man, that means you can't be touched. So Taker's pretty much untouchable by that point when Kane was there. So if Taker gives that feud to Kane, that might take him back like maybe a step or two, but it's gonna make Kane a made man, and Taker will easily be able to make up that step or two that he lost because he raises from the dead.
Every time Taker lost, he reincarnates himself.
True.
So he could have lost that feud to Kane and came back as Ministry Taker as he did anyhow.
Yeah.
But he won too much over Kane. And then when he came back as Ministry Taker, he kind of swatted him away like, I already beat you. I'm taking Stephanie McMahon. You know?
Yeah.
I'm crucifying her.
Yeah.
And then they had Kane doing all
that.
that.
The crazy house, Kane. Get out of here.
And they had him doing all that Kane and X-Pac, which didn't
gimmicky.
It was gimmicky. I liked it, but in terms of him, you know what I mean? That just
you know
that's because he lost that feud. If he would have won that feud, he's like main event status. So that feud, that tag team or feud with X-Pac wouldn't have happened. He would have been like upper mid card feuds. But since he lost, okay, well, we'll figure out what to do with you. We don't know now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think we'll move on after this comment. Bruce Moran, Kane was an underrated big man, and if not for the gimmick, Glenn Jacobs would have not got over, in my opinion. Very true. Obviously, we saw him with the Isaac Yankem dentist gimmick, which failed. He was the fake Razor Ramon.
He's fake
them guys. Yeah, fake Diesel. Yeah, so that's it. When they moved over to WCW, where I just don't know how WWE ever thought they could just dress somebody up as an existing character and get away with it.
Jim Ross brought the idea to Vince and he said, whatever.
Good old JR.
I say this all the time. You can bring a story to Vince, and if it's dumb enough that Vince likes it, we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Vince likes dumb shit, as we know.
He likes good shit. That's what he likes.
He likes dumb shit.
Good shit.
All right, moving on.
It's funny to him. We're going to see it.
Yeah, basically. Moving on, we had a backstage segment here with the Radicals. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if I couldn't hear it or what. Does anyone remember?
With Triple H?
Not the one with Triple H. This was before the one with Triple H. I think there was one before with that. The one with Triple H is when who was in came in and they kept saying the new stipulations for the match and they were all right with it.
There was a quick one like in the hallway beforehand and Triple H said something like something guys. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe this was it. Anyway, I guess it was kind of inconsequential. We got the main thing afterwards. Moving on, we had William Regal versus Hardcore Holly for the European Championship.
This is
I'm-
where I
I'm-
want to put in my second tidbit, or my third about Chris Jericho, our pal.
Okay.
We're
a William
in
Regal.
Florida.
They
Regal
yeah.
makes a comment about the election between George Bush and Al Gore, where they had to recount in Florida. Our good pal Chris Jericho just said what a couple of days ago?
About
It's never happened before.
taking long.
He said something like, "Never in an election has this had to happen." You worked in the company that often made references about it. Literally right after your match, it was a reference made. But go ahead, sorry. Just wanted to bring that to attention.
Right. So another question for you guys: the European Championship. Does anyone remember how that belt was retired?
It got merged with the Continental.
Merged.
They kind of had a unification. I think it was around
Invasion
times. Yeah.
Invasion times.
When somebody was fighting.
Yeah.
Intercontinental and European became one because they introduced the US title, which obviously went on to be on SmackDown and etc. Yeah, it just got merged essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing title, wasn't it? It was a mid-card title for guys like William Regal.
It was supposed to be more, especially for you guys, but then Shawn Michael got his hands a hold of it. It was supposed to be your guys' IC title, and it was like mainly supposed to be defended over there. The tournament was in the UK, and it was supposed to be like, this was for our UK fans because Davey Boy is big at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then at One Night Only, we know what HBK did. I don't think I can that up.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, that makes sense.
So after that, he lost it by giving it to Triple H, literally. There was a match and they ran the rope. He laid on the floor. Triple H jumped on him and pinned him. And that's how he got the belt. After that, they was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I think every title gets diminished once it's kind of handed over in that kind of sense. His days were numbered from there. Bob Holly here. I've personally never been a fan of Bob Holly. I've never got him. I just don't understand all of this. Like, I know he's the hardcore guy and he was pretty good in hardcore matches, but just as a character,
was he?
Never been my favorite. Never been my favorite, and basically got disqualified from this match because William, he had just come back from a broken arm. I think it was a broken arm, broken shoulder.
I think it was shoulder, something in the arm
He's
area.
always broke
his arm. Kurt Angle broke his arm doing a moonsault. Back.
So William Regal tried to target that area, and he lost his shit and basically got disqualified. William Regal retains. This was a bit of a nothing match. What do you guys think?
Nothing at all. Nothing at
Less
all.
than nothing.
And once I seen Hardcore Holly walk down that ramp, I knew that.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that has these feelings for Hardcore Holly or what?
I think he's one of those washed up before he even started. Like, I've never got him.
I kind of learned why he was there for so long. He was a real race car driver. That's why he got the Sparky Plug gimmick. And Vince kind of took a liking to him. And for whatever reason, like, Vince brought him a race car. He was supposed to, there was a little gimmick where he was actually racing like a WWF race car and stuff like that. And Vince kind of really liked him. Like, Vince liked
stupid shit.
He just weird things. Like, he'll pick something and be like, I like that, and stick with it. And then on top of that, he's the fucking asshole, dickhead, boy, tough guy. Vince loves tough guys. Vince loves the bullies. He's an asshole, belligerent guy backstage, and he had a race car that he raced for WWE. That's Vince's guy. Yeah,
literally. James said the hardcore redneck. Bruce said Bob Holly to me was like a generic creator wrestler on a video game. Literally.
Yep. No, nothing.
You need a guy like on your under mid card and stuff, just to round it out, just to make your mid card look like tough guy. Like, I didn't really care about this match, to be honest with you. I feel like match probably could have went on Sunday night, but like, Hardcore himself, like I always enjoy his work just because they never overshot him. They just kind of keep him as a solid guy that you don't want to kind of locker room credibility.
Yeah, I think he just needed to be kept inside like gimmick matches. And that's
especially
about
when
it.
they were doing the hardcore stuff.
Hardcore invitationals.
When they were doing the hardcore stuff, you need a guy that's gonna put his face into a chair for you.
Yeah, and that's him.
Yeah.
But even then, he wasn't the most exciting hardcore guy around.
He was taking chair shots and back shots and fighting in rivers and all the crazy shit that they wanted at that time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trash can over the heads and all that.
I wouldn't even look at Hardcore Holly on the card and think, oh, he's in this invitational. I'm excited. Like,
it's where he belongs, but you still don't care enough for him.
Yeah.
I was more excited about Crash. Personally.
I like Crash Holly. I love
Crash
Crash.
has more charisma.
Yeah, way more.
He's like, that's what 24/7 championship is now, isn't it? That's
I just think about Crash.
Kind of, yeah.
Hardcore championship rule. Yeah.
It's like literally, it wouldn't have been as fun, but they let R-Truth hold it. That's the only thing that's going for that.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
They gave it to Truth.
Yeah.
Moving on, backstage we had a segment with Kurt Angle still preparing for his match against The Undertaker. Trish Stratus comes into the changing room, the locker room.
Of our lives.
And it's like Trish Stratus was basically trying to, she was trying to get a bit friendly with Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle being the absolute nerd that he was, especially pictured as a nerd back then, didn't seem to be able to take the hint. Did he go on talking about his match with Undertaker to her?
Yeah.
He said, thanks for the offer. Tell Test and Albert I said I'm okay.
Yeah.
It was for a massage or something, innit?
It was if you need a little extra help with your match tonight, let me know.
Yeah. What, he was just such a nerd. Absolute nerd.
That being said, though, he showed his true colors with Stephanie McMahon, though. Was that before or after this?
Before, innit?
Before this, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not so nerdy there, eh?
This was like brilliant though to show like this guy being that nerdy though, like just to have that element of your character to. This is where you can inject comedy in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Because you already got your legitimate athlete, you already got the match set. Yeah. Now you got the character Kurt Angle, who's super nerdy, super dorky. This is just writing, right?
Yeah. No, literally, this Kurt Angle was great at this. Because he, like you're saying, he was still taken seriously, despite him having this comedic side to him. We will get onto Kurt Angle's match with The Undertaker in a bit. Next up, we had The Rock versus Rikishi. So this was one of the this was one of the long-term stories that they were telling when I guess Rikishi was hired to take out Austin, right? And then he blamed The Rock for it, even though the Triple H was really behind it. And we got a really good video package going into this match. Rikishi was already in the ring in an all-white ensemble, which I didn't remember him seeing wearing often. Go on, Hutz.
The back of it said RKJ for life, if anyone wondered.
What's RKJ?
I don't know. I thought you guys would know. I was out this time. I was like watching this pay-per-view showed me how much I was really into WCW at this time. I don't remember half of this.
Half of it, yeah. So The Rock sprints down to the ring. Obviously, once The Rock's music hits, the atmosphere just changes. It's like a whole different crowd is in the place. I don't know if you guys noticed, but The Rock's mom was front row.
So her two cousins were fighting.
Yeah, camera side, so we could see her.
So Jim Ross early, like right before everything, he said they are like family.
Oh, Rikishi and The Rock.
Like family because they're blood cousins. They're not related. Like it was like the Rikishi's father and The Rock's father are blood brothers. Yeah. Which is, like
a Samoan tradition thing.
Yeah, so it's like one of the Wild Samoans is related to The Rock's dad, I guess, but it's probably not Rikishi's dad. Maybe it's just Sika, not Aqua.
Yeah. They're family regardless.
Maybe it's just Roman's dad that's related.
Yeah. I think it is Roman's dad.
Yeah,
Definitely.
they are related but he's related to The Rock too. I think there must be some loose connection, second cousin or
Samoan, just Samoan.
like
Blood brothers is a ritual where you ever had a play cousin, like your best friend you told people was your cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those.
That they were brothers.
Yeah.
So there's no bloodline relation between The Rock and any of them. All of the rest of them are really family. The Rock is just like, my dad was cool with y'all. He's Samoan too, My granddad, he's cool.
Granddad, yeah.
So that was just like my granddad used to roll with y'all. Remember, I'm your cousin.
But that's I think that's on his mom's side because his dad's black.
They all grew up together, but they're literally not cousins. The only literally Rock's cousin is Nia Jax.
Yeah.
That's literally his mom's niece.
Yeah. Okay. We had Rikishi dominating for a pretty long time in this match. Rikishi whipped out a sledgehammer, which I can only put 2 and 2 together. That Triple H had niced him with that. But The Rock kind of punched out of the use of the sledgehammer and delivered a rock bottom, but it was only a 2 count. And this just took me back to this match, just the almost comedic, but the eccentric, should I say, selling of The Rock throughout the match. Like this is like a real, big man against Rock. Wasn't small, but obviously Rikishi's Rikishi.
He's so crazy too.
Shawn Michaels impression.
Like when he did elbow, Rikishi showed it like he had a seizure.
Yeah.
They were both really overselling.
Yeah. We're gonna get onto that.
That's one of the things I enjoyed about this. That's one of the things I enjoyed about this is because he just worked his ass off to put his fucking cut over. Like, first of all, he didn't even have to do this feud
at all.
But they kind of stumbled into this thing because Rikishi this was not any kind of long-term they did. This was some stuff like, oh snap, we did some shit a year ago. We got to help it now. We got to kind of pick it up from here. So The Rock doing this for Rikishi was just like, give him all due credit in the world for it. He was doing his Shawn Michaels SummerSlam impression when he faced Hulk Hogan. Overdoing it, trying to sell the boot tournament and all that. The thing about Rikishi, I told Hearts this the other day too when I was watching this. The thing about Rikishi, he needed to change ring gear. He needed to change because I can't take you seriously as a bad guy that's going around doing all these terrible things and you're hanging out. I can't do it.
It's
kind of killed me.
Serious as a bad man.
It is true. Let me just get through the rest of this match. We had a couple headbutts from Rikishi, a Samoan drop, the sit down pin where he sat on top of The Rock. But there was a kick out. We had a stink face in the corner. Eventually, The Rock got back up, massive clothesline by himself. He missed Rikishi missed a super kick, which The Rock then reversed into a spine buster. We got the people's elbow, which led to the eccentric Rikishi vibrating on the canvas after the people's elbow. And then The Rock crawls over for the pin and gets the win. Rikishi got mad after the bell and took out The Rock. I rated this match 3.5. I guess this was when I started really, like you said, it picked up in the Chris Jericho match, but I kind of sat up and paid attention to this match. So obviously The Rock's involved, so the crowd were electric, like I mentioned earlier. What do you guys think of this match in general?
This is a good match. I love The Rock, but he was a bad wrestler for me. He was a right hand wrestler.
But you're saying that from this age now, from
look at exactly
man
at the time.
Back.
I mean, I kind of said it around my age then. I was like, nah, I think Just saying that.
But to be honest, even if you compare The Rock to who's the best at this time, Kurt Angle, Stone Cold, Triple H, he was at the bottom of the pack. What elevated him was his talk, was his skills on the mic. So credit to Rikishi in this match.
Max.
But here's the thing about The Rock, though. Here's the thing about The Rock, though. He wasn't the best wrestler, but he's so better than all of those guys.
The performance was 100.
Yeah, that's exactly. He was a performer. He sold
like not even like the way he sold his move, the way he took his move, the way that he was on the defense in the ring. Like none of those guys took an ass whooping as good as The Rock took.
Like The Rock, yeah.
The Rock made everybody that he was in the ring. The Rock made everybody he was in the ring with real better than what they were.
The Rock would never really dominate a match. Have you noticed? The Rock would always be fighting back, right hands. He would always be coming from adversity.
But you know,
that's his story, though. He told his story really well. Of he's always like a slight underdog, but he was like a elite like wrestler in terms of at the top of the pack. But he'd always get you on his side. So when he's fighting back, when he's throwing those right hands and he finally hits that spine buster and he pops up in people's elbow, you're like, yes, oh my gosh, the hero's gonna win. You know what I mean?
He was an exciting person, like character. Everything about The Rock was exciting.
The Rock at this time, he was a face. He was the heel with the corporation, and he didn't become a heel again until he came back as Hollywood Rock. So he's not gonna have too much offense because he's the face.
Yeah, he has to struggle.
Face. He's getting his ass beat, getting his come up, getting his win.
So it's funny that you say that. So what about Austin then? Because what would you call him?
I was going to raise this up. I was going to raise this point later.
Austin was a tweener. Austin was a face, but moved like a heel.
Yeah.
Like Austin is the meaning of tweener. Austin worked as a heel until he became face, and then continued to work exactly the same. He became face by fans. He never worked as a face.
So so you're saying with The Rock, because as Rock was similar, he was a heel. What made Rock popular was the fact that he was a heel.
Yeah, but he had like a general face turn that was like, well, I'm good guy. I'm here fighting for the right. Austin's face turn was him passing out. He didn't like, I made a choice to do what's right.
Go on, Stan.
The difference between The Rock and Austin, like the difference in how they were, like The Rock would pander to the crowd, when he was a babyface. He would pander to the crowd. The millions and the millions do all that stuff. Steve Austin, he would do the give me the hell yeah. But that's the thing, they would still do those things regardless if they were heel or babyfaces. Rock
that's what I feel.
A little because he's a better performer, but
But Austin had his moments in his matches where he would get his ass beat, but Austin would come out like, I'm here to whoop ass. The Rock ended up in a lot of his matches by getting his ass beat, and now he has to have a match.
And then fighting from underneath.
Like Austin was here like, oh, I'm going to fuck you up because I want to. That's like kind of how it was with Austin. But since we're here, let's go into my Rock theory because you brought it up.
Go on, because these guys need to hear this.
Rock theory.
This Rock is a clone.
So okay, wait. Before we get there, when you say this Rock, you mean this Rock in 2000 is a clone?
This Rock in 2000 on.
Okay.
To today is a clone. He's not the original Rocky Maivia.
Can you explain this to these?
It's just watch The Rock and watch him up to like a certain point in 2000, and then you notice the differences. Face starts to morph a little bit, his hairline goes. He doesn't wrestle the same. Like how you say The Rock isn't a good wrestler. Rocky Maivia was kind of really fucking good a little bit,
So you're saying it's a different person?
Different? No. It's not a person. It's a clone. He's a clone of the original.
Rocky Maivia and Attitude
Rocky Maivia at the height of his popularity, sometime between 99 and 2000, was cloned, and they sent this guy back. He's not the same.
All right, I know Stan doesn't believe this. Paul, where do you sit on the fence with this?
Stan believes he's a clone now. It's just we argue about when he became a clone.
the clone thing, I'm not really seeing it. But
look.
what I'm getting at though is that the wrestling was different. He did wrestle differently because he was doing that turnaround DDT move. He was doing a lot more.
Promos were different. Looks started changing.
Yeah, because he was told to change, no?
Nah. Because Hollywood cloned him.
That's the thing, though. Like, Jay's right there, oh yeah, kind of fine, yeah, he's a clone. But realistically speaking, we've seen so many people have metamorphoses throughout their careers and lives. Shawn Michaels being the most prominent one. We just talked about Kane before. Like, that's just part of the game. You get over, you get new shit, you move on.
He's not a clone, guys. Come on, now.
Nah, I don't think he's not a clone.
Come on.
Yeah.
He definitely switched.
Now that I said it to you, watch. Now that I said it to you, you're gonna watch each match and be like, you know what?
That's the Pacers thing.
He switched up, but I don't think it was a. He switched up definitely. He definitely changed. He got better.
You're gonna start watching it like, you know what? It's something to that. I promise you.
Guys,
this needs to be. The Rock was being told.
That's how you get the money. You get the big time.
The Rock wasn't being told. They told the clone, "Hey,
oh no way,
those are his things. Those are his things." That's like, if you don't get technical, that's probably why he walked past Lillian like that.
No way.
Oh man, Stan's driving. He probably lost thing. I don't know what
Stan's dropped out for now. We'll add him back when he's back. This will be a whole new show on itself. I'm
telling you, I don't mind giving the Clone Rock there. We're just trying to figure out when we want to do it. You're gonna start watching everything differently now. I promise you. I say this as a childhood Rock fan. The reason I say like, oh, I wasn't really watching at this time is because Judgment Day 2000, I said, oh, this ain't my Rock.
No way.
Royal Rumble 2000, I was like, Rock wouldn't cut a promo like that. My man said, shut up, Juice. The real Rock was naturally funny and charismatic. Clone Rock was forcing it.
We definitely got to come back to this. Let's move on for now. Next up is where we got the backstage segment with Triple H and the Radicals. That's when Mick Foley comes in. I guess he was GM at this point.
Yeah,
Commissioner
Foley.
Yeah.
Commissioner Foley.
He comes in, and that's when he made the match against Austin, a no disqualification match, and didn't seem to shake Triple H in the slightest. Obviously, he had his plans already, it seems like. Next up on the card, we had the Women's Championship match, Ivory versus Lita. Now, Lita got busted open in this match.
Bad.
How
did this happen?
I think it was an accident.
The punch. Ivory punched her.
But Ivory drilled it into her face.
Yeah, she punched and especially in the corner. It was like here side. So
very close to her eye.
That part of it. Yeah.
It was like knuckle to eyebrow bone. So busted open.
Kind of like how a boxer bleeds when he gets punched. Sometimes that corner, that eye bit there. So yeah, she was.
That's literally all you need to talk about from this match. Because this match was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so I was going to get on, obviously, Stephen Richards, part of the what are them called? Right to censor. That's it. Come down to the ring. Lita does a top rope dive across himself and Ivory. Lita does her famous moonsault to nobody. I think on 2 occasions in this match.
She was so reckless at this point.
100%.
Had the heart, she did not have the technique.
I'm surprised she didn't break something, man.
Leah took a while to get polished.
Honestly, she's still just as reckless.
She is. I think you know what? There's just a way of how she wrestles, which it is recklessness mixed with her limbs just kind of go anywhere and make it look reckless as well.
She learned how to do the moves, but those moves aren't for her to do.
Yeah.
She needs to get her own way.
But she can, but she's not really supposed to be doing it.
She doesn't have the finesse to be doing them.
No.
Yes, she's not really. I don't know. I don't know. She has the guts, but she doesn't have the athleticism.
Yeah. In the end, again, like I say, she had a moonsault attempt, which Ivory put her knees up to, and then Ivory pinned her for the win.
Is it just like the moment that kind of sold her to the fans?
Lita?
Yeah, it was her joining the Hardys, but this one, I think, kind of made it as her a singles competitor.
because she bled.
Yeah, you know, fans look at Becky. Fans love blood.
I was literally about to say, look at Becky. Yeah, same kind of thing. She bled, and people think, oh, you know, she
and
just
then she got up,
she's
she
hardcore.
finished.
Yeah,
Everybody was applauding her. Her music played at the end.
yeah.
It's like a forever fan favorite after this until she cheated on Matt.
Yeah, yeah. With Edge, that whole thing.
My homie, man.
I gave this match 2 stars.
You are the star man.
You got generous ratings, yeah.
It's
I give you a 1. I give you a 1 just for showing up, bro.
A lot of them don't deserve it, but where I come in, this comes back to the formation of the card. This match shouldn't have been after that Rock match.
But maybe, like you're saying, maybe this was the toilet break for the Rock match.
Yeah, but it also cooled it's a show is supposed to build into a crescendo. You're supposed to build up. You're supposed to let them have time to get snacks and whatever. But your last 2 matches, you gotta hold your pee. You want to see what's happening. You have to pee. You're thirsty, but you need to see these matches. The Rock match should have been on right before the Triple H and Austin match, and the tag team match could have opened. The tag team match or the Jericho match, it could have opened because those 2 matches are heaters. Those 2 matches are what people kind of really wanted to see, and it gave you everything that you need to wake the crowd up.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
We had a show full of heat matches.
Yeah.
Just sprinkled in as well.
It doesn't build to a crescendo. I don't know who formatted the show, and it drives me crazy. But it's like you start off hot, and then the first couple of matches up into your main event, your last 2 or 3 matches, you go hot, cold. And you could have a cool down match. Like if you wanted a cool down match in between Rock and Rikishi and Triple H and Austin, honestly, that Rock and Rikishi match wasn't that hot that it needed a cool down match. You could have had that tag team match. Honestly, the Rock and Rikishi match could have been the cool down between the tag team match and the main event.
You can't use The Rock as a cool down match, though. Come on.
No, but that's why you put him in between the main event and the tag team match, because the tag team match was really fucking hot. I didn't care about it because I didn't care about this period. But I didn't care about this. I had no dogs in this race in WWF at this time.
Fair enough.
But it was a hot match nonetheless, especially after the match. So you go that hot and then you go into another hot angle. It's too much heat sometimes.
That's true. The crowd might suffer and then be flat for the second match.
And especially because the Rock and Rikishi match wasn't what it could have been. And it was like, whatever, right? But you're talking in terms of, it wouldn't have felt like it was a cool down match. It would have just felt like it was a Rock match, in a double main event.
The match itself, yeah, it wasn't like a 4 or 5 star match, but the crowd will always make the Rock's matches. You know, they'll carry it. So it's the crowd that needs to necessarily cool down, sort of thing. In that situation, in my opinion, because they would have been the ones that carried it and made it seem like it was more than, you know.
Then you stick a traditional you put the Billy Gunn one in between them 2, because that's why I said that tag team match could have opened. You put the Billy Gunn match or whatever, just a traditional Survivor Series match that no one really cares about. You put that match in the middle of it, it cools it down. That tag team match was entirely too hot to be like, okay, The Rock, Rikishi, this women's match nobody cares about, and then this hot ass match, the next hottest match.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wait. Like, and putting it at the end kind of takes away from what they did with Triple H and Austin. It didn't take away a lot, but it kind of like they went crazy in that match. You don't want 2 matches where it's like everybody's going fucking crazy.
Back to back, yeah. Okay, let's move on. We've got one of the big matches coming up the next, but before that we had a segment of Chris Jericho attacks Kane backstage with a chair, some poles that were lying around, and a 2x4 piece of wood. So I guess this extends the feud that they were having. Next up we had the WWF title match, Kurt Angle versus Undertaker. Kurt Angle comes out, he cuts a promo against the Florida crowd about
this match before the
Sorry.
Could have put this match before the freaking thing.
Yeah, they had that option to do it as well. That's true.
Hey.
So yeah,
my bad.
no problem. Kurt Angle cut the promo about how great his first year was. As Undertaker came out, he now looked scared. I felt like it was dawning on him that he's now got to take on the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I made a note here about Undertaker's trousers. Did anyone see this?
Oh my gosh! I was gonna say,
what is going on there?
mate,
I don't know if that was
That's what they are. They're trousers. They're not.
I know.
Death Valley,
I know.
I
That-
got
Death
that-
Valley
that-
fashion, something.
this was the
Yeah,
worst
I don't know.
Undertaker
That
thing as
was-
well.
Like I
American
just let's not. I just don't even know. Disan, hi, how you doing? Anafi, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream. Taker gave Angle a chair,
Hold on.
and Kurt Angle used it before the match began. What's that, Hearts?
Let me get this pants really fast. It is
Go
a
on.
rumor on the internet that those are Godfather's pants.
What, sharing?
No,
Or
that's a
Yeah,
fact.
like he forgot his.
No.
No.
It's a fact.
Hold on. It's
He
a rumor
forgot
on the internet. Hold on. They said that he forgot his pants and the Godfather gave him his pants. And that was a rumor for years. The Godfather just recently came out and said, those are not my pants. The Undertaker bigger than me, man. Those not my pants.
Mate, well, it didn't look like Undertaker style anyway, that's for sure.
So what I
I'm
think
aware
it
of that,
is I think it was just them being friends and liking the same things.
Snakeskin. Oh,
Snakeskin.
Death
But
Valley
yeah,
fashion for man.
Kurt Angle used the chair of
Go to
Undertaker
the
before the match
Royal
began.
Go to the Royal Rumble of 2002 and tell me those aren't the same pants.
Yeah, but it's after Taker had them.
Just saying. Well,
So they're not.
of course you're
Godfather's
gonna
pants,
keep
they're
them.
Taker's pants if you want to get technical.
So Undertaker kept them afterwards.
No, he could have just let him use them and then put them back in his closet.
Listen, Undertaker was trying things because he could try things now. He don't have to be all black.
let's move past his trousers, yeah.
Okay.
Undertaker dominated this match for a long period. Taker had Kurt Angle in a Fujiwara armbar. Edge and Christian came down to the ring and distracted the ref while Kurt Angle was tapping out, as you would have guessed. The match then took a turn. Kurt Angle was in the ascendancy. Undertaker got out the ring and attacked Edge and Christian. And then I think he got back into the ring and Kurt Angle ran into a choke slam from the Undertaker. But the ref was distracted by Edge and Christian while Kurt Angle was pinned. Kurt Angle locks a figure 4 leg lock on Undertaker. Taker eventually reverses the figure 4 leg lock. Question: has anyone ever tried this? I know we might have all tried figure 4 leg locks on each other as children. But what is this turnaround and you reverse the pressure stuff?
I think it's a bag of shit, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why? I mean, in the way of like wrestling, it added to it because it's almost like a double-edged sword. So you put in the figure 4 leg lock, and it's like, yeah, dangerous submission hold. But if you can turn it, then you flip the pressure. I'm looking at the way the legs are locked. I can't see why that would even happen in the first place. I'm here for it.
On the person that's taking it, either way you flip it, it'll put more pressure.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that's doing it just has to release his leg, and then that's
why you holding it.
You have to turn on the side. You have to turn on the side where your leg is straight. That's where where you have the least amount of pressure.
So it does reverse the pressure then, or
absolutely.
Well, turning on.
It turns it right into an Indian deathlock.
He's giving us kayfabe.
No, this is real life. This is real life. Like I can tell you, I practiced this move because I love this move. Like, if you turn that move, that really works. It turns it right into an Indian deathlock. You don't need both legs to do an Indian deathlock. If you ever seen Triple H lock in that move, it's the same leg placement as the figure 4, only in reverse.
Okay.
James says, I've tried this, and after it gets reversed, it does nothing.
You reversed
You
the
didn't do it right.
I said it.
You didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. I got you though.
All right, let's keep going. Kurt Angle delivers a low blow, which the referee didn't see. Undertaker hits a last ride. The ref is counting, but stops at 2, and even the crowd all jumped up at this point, like, why did the ref stop? The ref is saying that that's not Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle runs in and rolls up Undertaker, gets away with the win. And if I'm correct, this is the first of 2 times in the WWE that we see Eric Angle, Kurt Angle's brother, doubling as Kurt Angle. Now, so this was this Joker in his back pocket, basically. I enjoyed this ending, this finish for the match. What do you guys think?
I loved it.
I like the whole match.
Like,
Oh yeah, for sure, the whole match. Yeah,
like I like the psychology behind it. Like Kurt was the only guy besides Bret Hart to do the obvious thing and go after Taker's knees.
Because he's a big guy. Take down a giant, you chop him at his base. But one thing that I am like, I truly feel I missed during my fuck you Vince for buying WCW strike is Kurt Angle's run. I got bits and pieces, but I missed his entire run up until like his return to WWE.
Yeah.
His best shit was his first year.
I think certain matches. I'm not like gonna go back and catch everything, but
you should watch that.
His best shit, honestly, his best shit was in his first year. That nerdy Kurt Angle was the best Kurt Angle.
But that was gimmick wise. Wrestling wise, it wasn't. Wrestling wise, it was like 2003, 2002.
I disagree. I think his first year.
Even so, it's hard. It's hard to say that because like he was putting on classic matches that we'll remember forever in his first year.
He put on classic matches his whole career, even in TNA. So it's like I don't know, maybe the confidence and everything around the 2-3 year mark kind of just hit differently.
You're right, Hearts. I think he was very consistent at a top level throughout the career. I think the thing is though, there's a level of wow factor within that first year that this guy that came from the Olympics was able to do this and do it to such a brilliant ability. And obviously he was younger there, which helps as well. And this was before he became Kurt Angle and was on every drug under the sun. So yeah, I gave this match three stars and 3/4, nearly a 4.
You know what? I
can be stars, you know.
3.75.
I gave it 4 because at first I was annoyed at the ending because it kind of just like, what the hell is this? But then I appreciated it because of the story they were building with this, like, you know, nerdy, gimmicky running away from the Undertaker. That was the only way he was going to beat him. He's not going to Olympic slam him. He's not going to make him tap out because that wouldn't feed into the story. And so him having his brother or the imposter there and then getting the roll up 1, 2, 3, it was just like, you know, it was just the perfect ending to the way to beat him. Even though it's like a cop out, that was the way Kurt was going to beat him at that point. And I appreciated it more.
Yeah.
But for him, it wouldn't be a cop out because he used to always think about the 3 eyes. So he would just, I'm sure he probably said, I'll just use my intelligence. And that being said, a couple years down the line, there's a match between him, The Rock, and Undertaker where he completely goes for the Undertaker. He's not running scared or anything like that.
But that's what I'm saying at this time.
At this time, yeah. I mean, it just shows the evolution of Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
This guy was just a brilliant wrestler, brilliant man. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, though. The ending told the story very well. So well. Like,
I'm excited that you mentioned the 3 eyes because once he like, I'm a heel, but I'm still gonna act like I'm a face. The 3 eyes became comical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I noticed at the end of this match, JR said, you know, after he had done the roll up and ran away, JR said, Mr. Integrity is getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then King replied, that's his intelligence. So even them two on commentary are playing up on the three eyes. Moving on to the better of the Survivor Series matches. I believe we had Edge and Christian and Paul Buchanan and Goodfather versus the Hardys and the Dudleys. Elimination tag match, like we said. Val Venus, he got involved in this match halfway through or so.
Yeah.
But generally, I think this he led to Edge eliminating Matt Hardy. Christian pinned Devon within this match. Edge accidentally. What you say?
Was that you?
No.
Oh, okay.
What is there something?
Yeah.
StreamYard is melting because
Like
it's
a background noise or something, yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, there we go.
Edge accidentally speared Paul Buchanan, and Christian goes to attack Bubba Ray and misses. Hits Edge. Edge pins Bubba. Goodfather pins Bubba following Death Valley Driver. Jeff eliminates Christian with a Swanton bomb. Val Venus goes to clothesline Godfather and he went to clothesline Jeff Hardy and missed and got Godfather. And at the end, when Jeff Hardy's won it for his team, Right to Censor are coming in and they beat up everybody. And then Matt Hardy comes back and Dudley's come back and they put these guys through tables. This is the kind of SummerSlam traditional, Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series match I'm expecting to see. What do you guys think of this match?
I agree.
100%.
100%.
This is one of the best. This is one of the best. My opinion, one of the best Survivor Series matches that wasn't like star-studded. You know, didn't have all the superstars in it. Like we just took like random guys on the roster and put it together. I think like one of the best ones with like mid-card guys involved. Because you already had the story weaving in with Edge, Christian, and the Dudleys. They already were doing their thing. And then you add the Right to Censor into it, and just for that extra heat. It was just like you said. It was everything you'd want to see in a Survivor Series match. I had these guys. You'd have the Hardys with their camo shirts on for like a second. I even like
literally a second.
yeah, we're there. Then they threw it away. I even like the ending, how Godfather got hit with that clothesline, and that's how he got pinned.
Yeah,
I actually like that because it was an element of shock and surprise. Like, not everything needs to end with a huge finisher or whatever. Sometimes you get caught, you know.
Yeah.
So, Stan, you wasn't here when I said this. Wouldn't this match been the perfect opener for the show?
It would have been a good opener.
This match would have woke the crowd up better than TNA.
It would have did better. I'm trying to think of maybe the other Survivor Series match would have did it better too. Because I like the idea of that match opening, but I also like it being later on in the card because it was just so good. It was kind of like meat and potatoes.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to forget this match. If it was an opener, it might become an afterthought.
You know what? Not really.
I think if this was opener, sorry, Hearts. I think if this was an opener, they would have went harder than they did in this match. They would have given more.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of memorable matches that we really love are openers. And it's something about the opener. Like, okay, we're starting this. Fuck you. Now we're gonna make it the best match on the show. It's like it gives everybody in it a little attitude.
Often when the people that find themselves in the openers, it's either they're openers because they're the high flying guys or whatever, or the opener could have potentially been the main event, but they've been moved to the opener. So it's like, F you, we're gonna show up now, sort of thing. Like
that's happened though. Like if they put a title match as the opener, sometimes it's happened in that sense. Yeah, not here though, unfortunately.
No, not here.
Cool.
I just want to comment on the match. Did anybody? Obviously, we're all like late 20s. I don't know how old everybody is there. Did anybody ever get the when Jim Ross used to say, "Oh, Bubba's going to give him some wood"? Or they're gonna
Bad
you know what?
It was a really bad innuendo. It's
Bubba's got
referring to
wood.
his penis.
I was so young, I didn't know what the hell.
I thought he was talking about tables.
I would tell you, go ahead.
I was
When I
a fact
Especially when he was,
exactly what he meant.
especially when he was putting all the women through the tables as well. It
Yeah.
was rammed down our throat.
That's where
Brother's gonna give Stacey Wood.
Yeah.
guys as well.
that's where it all came from. And when he started like power bombing like all the women through tables and stuff like that,
That's not technically a British like terminology for hard penis. We wouldn't say wood. That's an American thing, isn't it? So like for me, I was telling you like, yeah, he's gonna put her through a table. I didn't think anything
The
of
tables
it.
made of wood.
Oh, right. Last but not least, we got the main event: Triple H versus Steve Austin. Again, a long-term feud, the long-term story that we're telling that was started at last year's, well, not last year's, but 1999 Survivor Series, when I believe Steve Austin was knocked over in the car. Straight out of the gate, I hated this version of Austin's music. This just sounded weird. Like, I don't know if you guys picked up on it or if you know the version I'm talking about.
I like that version. I like it.
They both had a different version. Even Triple H's
Triple H.
That's my favorite Triple H song. That's my favorite Triple H.
Yeah, I always say it.
Favorite Triple H. If he would have got more definition but kept his size, I would have loved him his whole career. I didn't like when he got really crazy braided.
His body did fluctuate quite a lot throughout his career.
Yeah, he started like really getting like kind of flabby around like 05 and stuff. But
evolution times.
Yeah.
Wasn't that when Stephanie was pregnant?
Yeah, he was getting fat. He was eating. He was making money.
He's got her pregnancy weight or what?
I don't know if they say that across the pond, but they say when a man gets a woman pregnant, he gets the baby weight too.
No,
that one missed me. But
he's in amazing shape here though.
He looks fabulous here. Like honestly, I was even telling
all he needed to was define everything.
Like I'm really thinking about it now. Like, and we're gonna get into it more, but like I'm really thinking about it now, and I was thinking about it before. I'm really hard pressed to find many people better than Triple H in 2000, all around. Like around,
it is difficult.
Yeah, he was on his shit.
in Kurt Angle, arguably.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, arguably, maybe, but I think Triple H is still, a step ahead. Yeah,
because he just got to the top of the mountain after having to eat shit and like it. We all know the saying. So now he has a grudge. He got what he's been fighting for. And now he's going to fight to keep it. So now he's going to prove to everyone he's the fucking best. And he's putting on the best matches of his
career. Wait. Hearts, thank you. Because that's the perfect way to describe this feud in this match. Because, Max, you said that this feud started at Survivor Series the previous year. Yeah. I'm going to beg to differ and say that it started before that in the build to SummerSlam of the previous year. To me, the entire time during this whole Steve Austin thing, Triple H was the obvious culprit in this shit because these guys had beef in the prior year. Like when Austin got run over in '99, Triple H was the first person that they went to that said, "Yo, what was going on?" Like, are we forgetting that Triple H?
He ran to Vince and was like, "I had nothing to do with that. I swear."
Are we forgetting that Triple H was the one that got bit by the rattlesnake, literally in the locker room just a year before? Like,
also, if you want to sprinkle politics on it, Austin wouldn't lose the belt to Triple H. They had to put Mankind in the match.
Yeah, no.
Mankind before he lose it to Triple H.
And Triple H even said it in his promo, and it was in the opening package. He said, "Who gained the most in Austin's absence? I did. I held the world championship longer than anybody. I married the boss's daughter.
daughter. I ran the World Wrestling. I was the damn World Wrestling Federation in Austin's absence.
Great package.
I felt like this was the beginning of like the game, the real like coming to the forefront.
Yes,
it was almost like mastermind from the running over, even like you said prior SummerSlam, all that build up, and then now to the culmination that I did all this. Look at what I achieved. I'm the top dog now. I was just waiting for him to say I'm the game. If he had said that, then it would have literally been like, okay, end credits. It was that perfect.
Yep. It was kind of like his character was coming full circle at this point, because you said, like Hearts was saying, he got shit on for so long, and he was eating all that stuff, and and honestly, even if you go before that, Triple H was probably one of the most underappreciated, underrated performers on the roster by before that, even when he was in DX. So like the fact that he's just now getting his due, you're like now you're seeing like, you did this to Steve Austin. Like, this is as far as you go. This is how much this means to you. And you're seeing the culmination of all of that in one package right here. Triple H,
the mega baby face, the top guy face, and the guy who made himself the top guy as a heel. And it's like, it's literally the best storytelling that we had kind of post Russo era.
Yeah. Definitely a very good story told. Let me just run through the spots that happened in the match. I thought this was a proper old school non-disqualification match. We don't get anything like
One
this.
thing Triple H is gonna give you.
Yeah.
DQ match, no DQ match.
Yeah.
Even Bret Hart will give that to him.
This was really Triple H's wheelhouse.
Bread and butter.
I said the
sorry, Stan, you saying something?
Whooping, Triple H up there too. And I said the Rock.
Listen, Triple H will give you a no DQ.
Yeah, 100%. One of my favorite spots in this match is when Austin stopped for a beer in the middle of the match. He hit him with the cooler and cracked open a beer. Triple H got back into the match afterwards, got back into the ring. We got a pedigree on the steel steps and outside into Austin flipping him over, and Triple H going through the announcers table. Triple H kind of was begging off Austin in the middle of the ring before Triple H goes for a kick, which was reversed. Austin with a typical stomping a mud hole in the corner through Triple H, and then he hits Triple H with the stunner, but didn't bother to cover him. Austin had a steel chair, wrapped it around Triple H. I think he wrapped it around his ankle first, then took the steel chair, went to wrap it around his head, the neck area, but Triple H got away. They eventually start moving through the crowd, moving to the backstage area, and that's when we start seeing the plan coming together of when the Radicals got involved. And Benoit was really going for Austin. And this is what I made me say earlier. This is where I really felt like they were pushing Benoit hard at this time, or they wanted something big for him, because he was very much front of center of everything that the Radicals was doing. Benoit then gets into it with Austin, leading him outside into the car park where Triple H had kind of scurried away to. Triple H is in a car. I guess he's got a plan to run over Austin again.
Finished the
job. Austin has kind of gone missing in the car park. Everyone's looking for him. Benoit is taking orders from Triple H at this point, and he's had enough. He's kind of went to look for Austin and kind of just went inside as well. Austin turns up in the forklift, has attached the forklift to the bottom of Triple H's car. He lifts the car, giving all the mouth, all the chat like Austin only can. And then he removes the fork from under the car. You basically see Triple H panicking, says, "Oh shit." The car now drops however far down from where it was being lifted to. Doesn't explode, but drops on the top of the car. Triple H is surely dead after this. Like he is surely dead. The match ends with Austin just leaving the forklift, leaving the scene, walking out like a badass completely. Triple H turned up on Raw the next week. But
Triple
yeah,
H
this was
die.
Triple H didn't die. He was pretty much unscathed.
This was maybe, or
I can't remember how far. I just know he was on the show. But yeah, I gave this match 4 stars. This was pretty enjoyable. The forklift spot was it's just a trademark WWF spot at that time.
Attitude era.
Yeah, attitude era one that we just don't see anymore.
Typical
What did you guys?
Yeah.
Very, very Austin. Very Austin. What do you guys think of this match?
Can I make a point?
Of course.
Kind of like that. At that point, the WWF.
Sorry.
That's okay. They kind of decide when they want to involve the police, because when I always used to think Triple H has ran over this man. He's admitted it now, and it's just like it's in the courts of the WWF. They decide how he gets punished, and he wasn't. And I remember, I'm not sure if it was before. I think it was before when Austin found out that it was Rikishi that ran him over, and they had that match. And he was about to run the SUV into him, and the police came and arrested him. And I was like, here's Triple H now, about to run him over for the second time. Austin's flip the car, potentially killing him, and it's just like, yeah, that just happened to the WWF. You know, what's going to happen next on Raw? I just think it's just so. I love that playfulness of it, though.
You know what happened though? The police and the ambulance, everybody knew that Triple H was in a car, so he'd be more safe. Rikishi, when he did that to him in No Mercy the month prior, he wasn't in a car. He was just like out there. So they knew like, oh snap, we better go help him because he might not be as safe as Triple H. I don't know.
Like the police, logically, never show up at times when they should. Like Paul, you just mentioned the time. Another time I can remember was obviously years down the line when we had the Triple H Randy Orton feud, and Triple H broke into Randy Orton's house. And then with the sledgehammer, and eventually the police showed up. Like everything that happened in between there. Yeah. The whole of Attitude Era, the police should have been on standby, and they were nowhere to be seen. But obviously, we know, that's all in the story. Like I said, this was a really good match. This felt like a main event. Kind of one criticism, I would have liked to finish. I would have liked something more definitive. I mean, if Triple H was out for like 3 months, like selling the injury from the forklift, that would have been more of a finish. For him to just turn up, it kind of diminishes.
Came back, like wrapped up, being pushed out in a wheelchair just to cut a promo. I wouldn't even still be pressed to be like, you know what? But he just came back out like, hey, it's Triple H. Green dropped the fuck. It can't phase me from the game.
Yo, homie was just saying he doesn't like that song.
Yeah, I prefer the other theme song. I prefer the other one.
No. This was one of my favorite matches. This is one of my favorite matches.
Police didn't show up when Brian Pillman pulled the gun on Austin. It's true. Yeah. The TV just cut off.
Yeah. Where Brian Pillman was.
Or even when The Rock threw Austin into the river. No one came for that either.
No one came, bro. Guys, so that was the end of the pay-per-view. We're just gonna go around. If everyone could just rate it, how many stars out of 5 overall? I've given it 3 stars. Ray, what about yourself?
The whole PPV?
Yeah.
2.5 stars. I'll give it
3.5. Paul?
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Okay, yeah. Paul?
Yeah, I give it a solid 3 stars.
3 hearts.
Yeah,
I'll give it 3, only for like the main event alone.
I think the main event and the tag match probably carried it somewhat.
But it's like they put up, yeah. But the main event is like it didn't make you walk away like, oh, that pay-per-view was dumb.
Yeah.
Like you was excited watching it at the end.
100. And Stan?
I gave it 4. I gave it 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. Just because, well, first of all, the main event just to me is just everything. The story going into it. I love the story with The Rock and Rikishi. The tag match, the Survivor Series match with the Hardys in them. But above all else, like, and I know you guys touched on this when I was gone. When Lita got busted open. I think like overall, I felt like this pay-per-view, more than a lot of Survivor Series, felt like Survivor Series. It felt like something was at stake, like something bad.
It felt like a Big Four pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Right. It felt like you had that feeling in the air, like something bad was gonna happen. Like this was a dangerous kind of night, and just for that alone, and for nostalgic purposes, I love it.
Cool. So, guys, that is it. That is the Survivor Series 2000 review done in modern day. Like to thank all of you guys coming on. Talk of Champions, guys. Make sure you're following that. I'm sure half the people in the audience all know what Talk of Champions is. So anyone else that's watching on YouTube or watching it back, that's not watching live, Talk of Champions, make sure you subscribe to their YouTube page and follow them on Facebook. Stan and Hearts, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. We got to do some more retro reviews.
Definitely. And I apologize. We have a tendency of making everybody we speak to go almost 2 hours.
It's not a problem. This was always going to be a longer one than usual because there's 5 of us here.
It's 5.
Paul and Ray, as always, thanks for joining us on these old school reviews. Much appreciated for your time.
No worries, man.
Cool. And guys, if you enjoyed the review, please give a thumbs up on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.